1917 Baptist, 1921 Methodist. Le Bonheur opens in 1920. Le Bonheur Hospital is a sewing circle, little old lady sewing circles with sewing clothes for orphans with red thread. That's why I have that red thread in Le Bonheur there. It's one of the finest pediatric hospitals in the world. You get up to Dr. Shea in the middle 1950s and 60s does hearing loss. He did a lot of advancement on the discovery of regenerating hearing in people. Campbell Clinic. Willis Campbell in the early 1900s wrote the seminal manual for orthopedic medicine in our country. It's in its 10th version now. And it's Campbell Clinic. You've heard that name. In 1955, Danny Thomas comes to Memphis. 1962, he breaks ground. He opened St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It had a less than 4% success rate that year in curing the catastrophic childhood diseases of cancer and leukemia, and a 1% success rate. A 4% success rate, and a $1 million budget for the entire year. That's what I meant to say. Now that success rate's grown to over 90%, but it costs about $2.5 million a day to operate that hospital a day. And no child or parent pays for the travel or treatment to housing to care on any visit to St. Jude. It's the true miracle of Memphis, and growing and expanding, and their cures are shut down. The cure cancer is shut down. But they're doing another big growth session right now at St. Jude Children's Hospital. What a worldwide impact that has for Memphis, Tennessee. So that's kind of our medical, our music, our transportation, our distribution. You look at Memphis right now. We go back to 1981 with more people. Basically, Peabody just reopened. Basically, more people in jail than live in downtown. Now it's grown year by year to where there's over 25,000 people living in downtown, over 120 restaurants, 21 museums of all kinds. It's like a Disneyland without walls. You know, when you think about the Sun Studio, Stax, National Ornamental Metal Museum. Where's the next closest metal museum? Japan. You know, the National Civil Rights Museum, the Belts Museum of Asian and Judaic Art, a one-of-a-kind collection for our country there, the Center for Southern Folklore, Memphis Rock and Soul Museum, Blues and Memphis Music Hall of Fame, now the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame, the Edge Motor Museum, the Fire Museum, the Slave Haven Burkle Estate, Victorian Village, just Mississippi River Museum, Cotton Museum, on and on and on. Such a variety of things to do. Riverboat rides down there. Where's the next closest riverboat company for local cruises? Either in St. Louis or New Orleans. That's 1,300 miles of river right there. The only place you can get a local 90-minute or 2-hour cruise is Memphis. That's why a lot of people from Europe come into here to get the Delta. Now, back in 2012, we were able to resuscitate a business that had closed. In 2008, starting in the 1920s, we had the Delta Queen doing cruises up and down the Mississippi River. Then the Mississippi Queen was built in 1975, the American Queen in 1995. So you had 3 boats out there going up and down the river for 13 years. Then the recession came through in 2008. Those businesses shut down. And the Delta Queen was sent to Chattanooga to be a bed and breakfast stationary. The Mississippi Queen was totally scrapped, and the American Queen, biggest boat ever built, modern boat, to a federal bankruptcy shipyard. And in 2011, our city helped a group of investors get that out of bankruptcy. We finished up Beale Street Landing, and the American Queen went back into business. That's in 2012. Now there's 6 overnight passenger vessels coming to Memphis, over 30,000 visitors a year from that. It's a $42 million annual economic impact. And a lot of people want to come up. You know, we take Memphis for granted, and the Delta and the Muddy River and all that, and the sunsets. But people come. So I used to run Beale Street Landing and get all the suitcases up. Or I didn't get them up. I had a crews that did. I had to manage the crews on the golf course and get the suitcases down, and all the goods and supplies and everything. And all that happened in the daytime there. And visitors come in 2 days before and experience Memphis, get on the boat, and they go to Vicksburg and Natchez and Oak Alley and Baton Rouge, and 2 days in New Orleans. It's a 7-day. It's a cool deal. I've ridden on them a lot and lectured on them about Memphis on the way into Memphis, and had my fun that way. But now I got to check the manifest to see where these folks came. I had to check so I could get the fees paid. And I noticed about 70% of the people coming on these cruises in the Mississippi River here, from St. Louis and Cincinnati on down, the cruises up and down, were from either the East Coast and West Coast America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Japan. 70% of those people want to do that. Just like we want to go to Hawaii, we want to go to Europe, we want to go to Australia. Those folks want to come here. That's why it's so expensive. The demand is high from people from other countries coming here. And they call that Americana. St. Louis, Mark Twain, all that, Hannibal, Memphis, Delta, New Orleans, the Civil War, civil rights, the food, the music, the hospitality. They just love it. It's a thriving business, and I ain't gonna pay $3,000 for a 6-day boat ride. Well, you do that when you're going to Europe because you want that. Those folks over there want it here. So it's really not Americans paying that freight. It's the out of the country folks doing. That's pretty neat. You know, now 6 boats are doing that from 2 different countries. That's companies. That's pretty good. I was glad to be a part of that. Duck Master. Did y'all know how the duck thing started at the Peabody Hotel? Have you ever seen the ducks march at the Peabody Hotel? Isn't that goofy? And it's right out goofy. Nothing is Doug Brown or Jack Phillips at the Peabody. 1933, the general manager, Doug Brown's predecessor, went on a hunting trip to Arkansas. And he took along his good friend Chip Bark. And he took along another good friend, a bottle of Jack Daniels. Seems like they paid too much attention to the Tennessee sipping whiskey than they did to the hunting. They also took along a set of live duck decoys as well, which is what you could do at hunting. So you had live decoys out there. So when they returned to the hotel that evening, they forgot to leave the duck decoys on the farm. They're in the car. So they played a practical joke on the staff. They snuck them in and put them in the fountain of the hotel and retired to their rooms. Really, it's a practical joke. And so when he came down the next morning, the general manager he expected to be chaos out there, okay? Either ducks flying all around in the lobby or bellmen chasing through the tables and chairs. But they were just calmly floating in the fountain, and guests were gathered all around, gawking at the ducks like they do now. And the manager comes down and goes, this is no good. I'll get this straightened out right away. And all the guests pleaded with him, let the ducks stay. They're calm, they're cute, they're not doing any harm. So obviously the ducks stayed, right? They found a room to go to. And they go back and forth. And in 1940, they hired Edward Pembroke, who had come out of the circus. He said he could train them to march to music and put the red carpet out and all this pomp and circumstance. And he did that for 50 years. The very first duck master lasted 50 years. I was the 6th duck master ever. I lasted 2.5 years. Then retired. So they go back and forth. 250,000 people a year watch those ducks march, between 300 and 800 people every day, twice a day. Add that up. What an economic impact is out of that hotel. And that lobby bar right there, and all the memorabilia and merchandise and everything. The ducks are only there for 3 months at a time. We get a whole new set of ducks every 3 months. A local farmer groups them together. They're North American mallards, 1 drake, 4 hens. That's 1 boy, 4 girls. If there's 2 boys, it'd be competition. You see what I mean? And they just group them together. They clip their wings. The duck has 3 sets of wings. The first 2 power them. The last set of wings lifts them. Got it? Gets them up. They trim those back like your nails. They'll grow back in 4 months. They'll be fine. So when they come there, they first come out of the cage. We've got to train them how to get to the elevator, which is kind of funny. You just learn how to walk behind ducks. That's all it is. And they'll walk in the glass door because you've never seen them before, stuff like that. It's kind of goofy. But it takes about 3 30-minute sessions to train them on where to go. We don't put any food out or anything. And the first time they ever come out on the red carpet in front of the people, they've never practiced that. There's no time to practice that with other ducks there. Because we've got overlapping set of ducks. I'm not coming out at 3 o'clock in the morning to practice ducks. Walking on a carpet with no people there, you know. So we line up the kids along the carpet all the way to the fountain. And the little kids think they're getting a real privilege, you know, all the way to the fountain, front row seat, opportunity of a lifetime. We're getting a wall out of that. Because the ducks are scared of people. They love the water. So that's the formula. They don't want anything to do with the people. They love the water. So they just run right up that carpet right into it. Except for the time I did it for the first time by myself. I got them up those steps. I thought they were trainers the 3rd day. They got those steps, and they all took a right turn and went out in the crowd. 2 went to a gift shop. They shut the door to the gift shop. We had to get everybody with their cell phones out, you know. I was on a Sunday too. I thought I'll be fired the next day. But they loved it. They got so much attention, you know. We finally got them all back in there. It's crazy. It snowed one time. We had to get them across in the snow. I went up there and made a little path on them. No, their GPS is so strong. They walk right through, plowed through their same route every time right into the snow. You know, it's just incredible what they're doing. So after 3 months, they take them back to the farmer. Their wings have grown out, and they release them into the wild. They live to be 6 to 8 years old. What a great story that is, you know. And in that overlap period, we'll take the veteran set. Once a new team learns, we'll take the veteran team to senior citizen homes and schools with a red carpet and a boom box. And they'll do the march, and we'll tell the stories and all that. So it's a goodwill thing too. So it's a great program. The Peabody Hotel has such a reputation for quality, for food. They had come at the Skyway Room up there, 1939. It's 14 years after the hotel opened. And they had, it was one of 3 rooms in America to broadcast swing music over at CBS National Radio Network, New York, Los Angeles, and Memphis. Sam Phillips was an engineer up there. He got real bored with that music up there, you know. He went down to Beale Street. That's what he fell in love with, was the raw, gutsy sound of Beale Street. And the rest is history on that. So our downtown tourism product now, like I said, 25,000 people live in downtown, over 120 restaurants, 21 great museums. 11 million visitors a year now, about or so. About 50,000 people working in the hospitality and tourism industry. About a $3.5 billion economic impact. Look at that. I'm 3 for 3 with that man right there.
All correct.
Huh?
All correct.
All correct too. Look at that. See, Kevin Kane, he started now. You gotta think about 1984. We didn't get our first fully funded convention and visitors bureau till 1984. That's how late we got in the game with that. When I was growing up here in Memphis, here's your tourism options: the zoo, the Pink Palace, Brooks, Chuckalissa, riverboats. Go play on the swings at Ogle Park. Get in the sandbox. Maywood, the beach within reach, and some public swimming pools. That was it. There's over 50 attractions now. Like I said, visitors from all over the world. 84, Marshall Murdoch, who done Virginia's for Lovers with the Heart. He came to Memphis. Start something great in Memphis was the slogan, and that kind of kick-started us into fully funding. Of course, it helps when you get Graceland open and some of these other attractions too, and getting great restaurants in downtown, and a network of people who understand working together. Because yeah, we're all in